Oh no! Ah! Ah!
Ah!
Oh well, Joe has appeared.
What just happened? What just happened?
Nothing. Nothing happened. I didn't do anything. It was all Joe.
Well, you look good anyway.
Hmm. Anywho, welcome.
We made it. We
We we
made it.
we are here.
So exciting. I can't
Wherever
even
here
believe it.
is, we're there. Welcome to the Double Cup of Joe show.
Hey,
I'm your host Joe.
I'm your other guy.
Yep, he's the other guy. And
I'm the other guy.
together,
We got
together
Joe and the other
we're.
guy.
Yep. So hey, we're here to make your morning go right. That means specifically Saiki, Lilia, Tef, Takahashi, and Raka. Yeah, you guys. Your morning has to go right, even if it's not your morning yet. Um, we're here to make you go right. And I guess DDVNL, you can have your morning go right too.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
me. For those of you who don't know, that's me.
That's you.
That's me.
Yes. And then Taf, today is the last day of fear, so you can no longer fear after today. Just
Wow. Is
impossible.
there a
Yep.
particular reason for that, or is that just like
No,
a
I'm just
general
telling him. Yeah, that's
statement?
yep.
Okay.
Nobody else can fear either. Like today is your last day for fear, so get
No
it out
fearing.
now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because that's our topic. Oh, see,
Yes.
I am not hitting it this morning. I don't know what's going on. Like,
Oh no, my not getting it in the morning is catching. In case you guys didn't know, so far the last 2 days I didn't start the music at the beginning of yesterday's show, and the day before I destroyed one of my plates while I was getting up in the morning and getting ready for the show. So far I am 0 for 2 the last 2 days. So let's see how great we can do. Have no fear, guys. We will get through this.
We will. It's gonna be great.
So in order to get through it, we do need to move on to our 3-step routine, which is of course 3 steps because that's how that works.
Three.
uh,
Uno, dos, tres.
yes. C. Mucho steps. Anyway,
I might have given you the perception that I speak Spanish. I actually don't. I know how to count to 10 in Spanish. Other than that, I can use Google Translate, but that's pretty much it. Google
ah,
Translate has its own cacophony of issues.
the coffin of issues,
Cacophony.
phony issues. Just butcher every word that you say, even if it's in English.
You're gonna be like, you're messing with me.
All right, so let's go ahead and get on to our 3-step process. It's 3 questions you ask yourself to get your day headed in the right direction. Those 3 questions are: what are you thankful for? What are you looking forward to? And what are you gonna do today to move your life forward? Um,
Yeah, those are the three.
that's it. It's simple. You can do it right now. You can get ahead of us if you really want to. Jeff is always ahead of us because he's already thankful for productive early mornings, and I don't have
He
any of
is.
those. So
Oh, you're
I
about to.
can't. So I guess we're about to. So in order to do that, though, I need to ask Joe what he's thankful for this morning.
I'm thankful for the meeting we had yesterday. Those of you who were on Don't Worry Wednesday, you heard a little bit about that, but man, did we have a really productive meeting. We got a lot of the Kickstarter stuff wrapped up and decided upon and everything. And now we're just, today's a day of placing orders and getting everything together to do that. I mean, I'm so excited and I'm so thankful for all of the backers. I'm thankful for and here's the thing. We are ordering extra stuff. So if you missed out on the Kickstarter campaign and you still want some of the cool stuff, we're going to have it available. And we'll probably put together some package deals and stuff like we had for the campaign, but yeah, I'm really thankful that we're nearing the end of this chapter been a long chapter, man. I mean, we started planning this thing a year ago. We launched it a little less than a year ago. And we're like, it was supposed to be done like 6 months ago, but it's still here.
Yes, it was a very important learning experience, and how
Mhm.
long putting everything together takes, and what happens when pandemics influence society.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's been
we
quite an adventure.
we learned more this year than, well, I've ever learned, but you know, I don't learn a whole lot very often.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, Joe. That's something awesome to be thankful for. Let's go ahead and move on to step number
What's
two.
that?
And I,
Where's my plushies?
we have them hostage. No, just kidding.
Yes, they're in a box.
So, after what are we thankful for, we go ahead and get on to the next step. Is the awesome, hopeful step of what are you looking forward to?
Hmm.
Joe?
I'm looking forward to tomorrow,
Ooh.
simply because today is an inspections day. Actually, I'm even looking forward to the end of today when I go to sleep.
Nice.
Yeah, because that means tomorrow's coming, and that means we get to do free for all Friday. And we're doing Jehoshaphat's topic, so hopefully he can make it to be here with us. It's also the last day. Tomorrow's the last day. We're coming out at 7, right, Joe?
7.
Yeah, isn't tomorrow the last day for this show to be on at 7?
Unfortunately.
Hey.
Don't say that word so happy like that. You
It's exciting,
sound
man.
way too hopeful. I know
We're
we're
gonna
talking
get to
about.
get up an hour earlier. I'm trying to train myself actually. I got up a half hour earlier today. I'm like stepping in that direction. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Ooh. Tef's looking forward to lunch. Lunch is great. And Raka's looking forward to making high quality music for once. For once, you've made high quality music before, man.
yeah, I don't know what Ruck is talking about there. He must be confused. Forgot about all his other high quality music.
Hmm.
That happens. When you make as
Yep.
much high quality music as Raka, you just forget about some of the older ones.
Yeah, you're just like, that's not even high quality. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Dang,
How about
Joe. What am I looking forward to?
I
Or
know
what?
what you're looking forward to. You're looking forward to Monday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Monday.
I am too. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday.
Uh, I hope that you see me on Monday. That's all I have to say about that.
Oh, I'll see you at some point.
What is that supposed to mean? Sounded like a threat.
Yeah, hey, I might if you don't show up for the show, I might ditch the social distancing and drive up and find you. I find you.
Ugh, wake up. Uh,
Oh man, well, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Be like, no, that would not be fun. We're not doing
I would highly advise letting me know that you're coming and not breaking into my house
that. Yeah, you do have a
for
dog now.
reasons of your safety. Anywho, that's step number 2. What are you looking forward to? Step number
Hmm.
3 is the third and final step. The step that requires something of you, specifically doing something. What are you going to do today to move your life forward? Joe?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. I today I'm going to make my assignments for the week because we didn't do that. We usually do that at the end of our meeting, but
Mm.
we had to end really quickly because don't worry, Wednesday was coming on. So we didn't have time to make assignments. And apparently Kyle is the only one of the staff members who's given himself his assignments, or maybe Jeff too. I forgot to look. Oh yeah, Jeff made his, of course, because he's on the ball. Jeff and Kyle are the only ones who gave themselves assignments.
Yeah, it's much easier to hit my assignments when I would give myself assignments. But
Yeah.
didn't get anything done that way.
Yeah. Ah, Takahashi, today's almost up already, huh? Ah, you must be on the other side of the world. Which is, hey, that's cool. That's one of the reasons we do this. It's so cool because like we start our day here, but you guys are like some of you guys are ending your day. Some of you guys are like Tef. He's about to have some lunch. Yeah, gonna order some lunch. Or just getting a pancake. Nice. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make myself some assignments and I'm gonna start chasing them. It's gonna be awesome.
Nice.
That's what I'm doing today.
That's a good thing to do.
Other than inspections, but that doesn't count. I don't figure the only way inspections moves me forward, it does give me an income, okay? But the the only other way it moves me forward is it gets out of the way so I can do the stuff for Black Static and Swerve.
Mm, very fair. So that's it, guys. That's the whole routine every day, along with 10-kilometer run, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. Wait, no, that's something completely different. But anyway, if you just do
10K.
that 3-step routine every day, you'll find yourself moving your life forward. And if somehow you're doing a 10K run every morning, probably going to be in good shape. So,
Yeah. I imagine so.
I highly recommend you guys do that every day. It'll get your mind set in the right direction. I highly recommend you do it a little bit more succinctly than we do, but whatever. If you find yourself going off into tangents, perhaps there's a reason for that. So, thanks for participating with us. It's time now to end fear for
Boom.
good.
We're gonna end it.
Maybe. But that's what we're talking about today is fear. It's what's the use
Mm-hmm.
of fear? What's the use of fear? I suppose is a better way to put that. But Joe is going to explain what we mean when we say what's the use. So Joe, take it away.
All right. Thanks. There's
Good
a little
catch.
delay there. You
It's a
you
long
whacked me
way.
with
I
it.
threw it a long way.
You did. You threw it miles and miles and miles. Um, yeah. So fear is, we've gone through this whole week, different aspects of fear of others, fear of success, fear of failure. There are some other fears in there that are pretty major. There's the fear of death, and then there's the fear of public speaking. Actually, the fear of public speaking is more common than the fear of death. So a lot of people are more afraid to stand in front of people and talk than they are of dying. Um,
Okay.
so that's interesting. But a lot of times we have these fears, and I find for me most of the time it's just the fact I fear the unknown. And so that's why I play the game with myself. You've heard me do this on Don't Worry Wednesday, where I say, "What's the worst thing that could possibly happen?" And then I make a plan for that. So then I know what I will do if that thing happens. So then I'm not afraid of it anymore, right? Because I have a plan. Um, and I've somehow envisioned what would happen. What that possibility. So then I don't have to be afraid anymore, which is great. But the use of fear, I wanted to do this because I find like we talked about on Monday, that most of my fears do not involve any danger. Most of the things that when I feel afraid of something, I'm actually not in any danger. And really, the purpose of fear, when you think of an evolutionary standpoint, or like basically our instinctual fear, is to keep us safe. When we feel that fear, it's to protect us from something that's dangerous. And there are times when you experience a dangerous situation, and it's right to be afraid, because there is a danger. You could get hurt, you could get killed, there's something that, could happen that's actually a danger to you. But most of the time, when I'm afraid of something, there's actually no real danger there. Danger, fear of making a phone call, fear of sending an email, fear of starting a process that's going to lead me down a path that's unknown. I remember I was afraid of launching the Kickstarter campaign because, you know, I'd never done it before. I didn't know what to expect, and I was getting everything figured out, and I had fear. Sometimes I had fear of attending an event, and part of that is the fear of other people, like, because I was afraid of other people a lot. And I was just a shy person. But, um, so these are things I had to work through, but none of that stuff is dangerous. So the question is, like, why do I feel this fear? And I started to understand something. I really like roller coasters.
I'm
Do you like roller coasters, Joe?
scared of heights.
You're afraid of heights. Okay. So
Not
you
really.
love them is what you're saying.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's spectacular. Top 10 things that I would never do.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Akil says fear directs us off inconvenience. Let's just say harm is very inconvenient. Yes, I would say harm is inconvenient for sure. It's also harmful. Otherwise, it would not be harm. But here's the thing I noticed when I love going on roller coasters. I love the adrenaline rush. I love that, the excitement of being up there and like and then going super fast and everything. And then the feeling of being all weak kneed and everything. And so, I remember the first time my youngest son went on a pretty high roller coaster. He was just barely tall enough to go on it. And he was like, I think my face just flew off because we were going so fast. He's like, ah! And he's like, let's do it again. They're like, yes. Yep. But it's exciting. And what I realized was my bodily reaction in that excitement was the exact same thing when I was experiencing the fear of making a phone call, or the fear of sending an email, or the fear of, you know, going to a place where there were going to be lots of people. It felt the same in my body. I got that weird feeling in my back, my stomach started to get the butterflies, and I started getting this heightened sense of things and, tensing up and everything. And I was like, oh, they're the same thing. So when I feel afraid of something, really what's happening is my body is doing the same thing as when I get excited. So they're really related. And so when I started to play this mind game, like, okay, when I feel afraid, I'm actually getting excited. And there's good reason for that. Because when I'm afraid of taking a step to move my life forward, which is really what it is mostly for me. And I bet you'll find that it's the same for you. When you are about to take a step toward your goals, toward your dreams, you feel that fear. And what it is it's excitement. It's like, oh my gosh, I mean, I used to have to get up in front of people and speak. That was part of what I did. And I remember the first few times I felt so afraid. And then I started to realize there's no danger. I mean, people might laugh at me, but I'm going to try to make that happen anyway. I'm going to try and tell some jokes. And so the point is for them to laugh at me, or maybe they'll ridicule me. Who cares? I'll be their little monkey boy they can make fun of or whatever, something. But at any rate, I was like, huh. I started using that excitement. I started using that fear, that all that bodily energy that was getting built up, that tension and everything, and I started to use it to create a more energetic stage presence, right? And it worked. It works when I make phone calls. It works when when I send emails, I'll get through it that much faster when I use the energy that's generated from that fear. Because really, that's that's what ends up happening. We feel fear, we get a rush, and then you can take that energy and you can use it to drive yourself, to push yourself forward. It's an amazing thing. So the use for me of fear is the power to do the thing that I think I'm afraid of, but it's actually I'm just excited for it. So anyway, that's what I got to start with. Joe, continue us along this pathway.
Oh yes, the path of fear use. Oh, thank you. um, yeah, thanks, Joe. And then I like what Akil says here. I think you hit the wall, Joe, or maybe that was a drum.
I hit a bongo.
Never made it. Keel says excitement does not or does stem from expectations. Fear can be expecting the worst. That's usually what I use. Um, and it's a very interesting thing of once you realize what it is, you can kind of train your fear. So I'll give an example. If I want to do homework, or I want to do schoolwork, or I want to study accounting. Um,
Yeah, man. I would be afraid of that, and I don't think I'd be excited afraid.
what I do is I tell myself that the worst thing that can possibly happen is for me to not do it. And that really motivates me to go ahead and do it. Because the adrenaline you end up getting from if I don't do this, I'm gonna fail and job and is a really powerful motivator for some reason.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so you can use the fear that once you realize, hey, fear is just my expectations of the worst. You can change what you think the worst is around because we're cognitive beings. We understand that some things cause these worst things to happen. So you can just affix that to what you don't want to do already, and then it's like now I have a little bit more energy to do the things that I actually wanted to do and achieve and succeed at. Um, so that's just one way that you can use your fear to motivate you, as it were.
Hmm.
Um, again, almost everything in your life, if it's rightly placed, is usually pretty good for you. Rightly ordered fear is good. Rightly ordered sadness is a good thing. Like it's okay to grieve. Sad things happen. It's okay to smile and be happy. But if you're like happy when your dog dies and stuff, that's a little creepy. People get a little weirded out by that.
Yeah.
So it's important to have rightly ordered emotions, rightly ordered things. And when you don't have that, your mind kind of does some weird things. I'm really sorry. I have allergies, and we got a lot of rain last night, and so apparently things like to live. I tell you, I moved out to the desert one year, and I thought for sure, I'm like, this is it. My allergies are gonna be done. Nothing lives out here, and I was completely wrong. The desert plants have pollen too, and the desert plants are worse because they also try to stab you. I anyone who lives out there is a person who just likes to uh you know inflict self pain. I think, but that's not here or there. Um, we've got Jeff saying that fear is just an acronym. It stands for false evidence appearing real. Pretty fair to
Mhm.
say. Um,
Mm,
for the most part, the fears that we have are just our imaginations running wild.
mm,
They really are. It's It's why, I highly recommend using your imagination for something more creative. Because man, if you use your imaginations on what you're afraid of, it can get a little scary. And by a little scary, I mean a lot scary because you can imagine like the worst possible things ever. Like if you let your imagination go, you are gonna find scarier things than actually exist in the world. Because you're imagining it. You're creating um your own how would I put it? Um you're creating your own worst image
Mm.
as it could be. Like the worst thing that can possibly happen when Joe talks about just doing that exercise where you're like, let's imagine the worst thing that could possibly happen and then accept it. The problem is when you actually realistically imagine it or take the time to be like, what could actually be the worst thing that happens? Is it significantly better than the worst case scenario you're imagining?
Mm.
Because your imagination will just go crazy. But if you take hey, what's the parameters of the worst thing that could actually happen? You'll find that a lot of your worst case scenarios are kind of a little overboard. I find that at
Yeah.
least.
Very rarely has the worst thing ever happened. That's a pretty rare instance.
Let me give another example of fear because, man, I'm afraid of a lot of things, guys. I'm afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of heights. Afraid of public speaking. No,
You're not afraid of putting your finger in your eye though, that's for
no,
sure.
I'm not. Thank goodness. I do wear contacts. I forget that that's a fear that some people have. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
afraid of poking myself in the eye. Like, pfft,
Nah, they said can
I'd have a hard time wearing contacts, I think.
maybe. My doctor's like, can you do this? I'm like, sure, and then I just did it. The key is to not look at your finger.
Ah,
In
don't look
case
at
you wonder, you like
your
they always told me like look up and away,
Ah.
and then you poke yourself in the eye. It works
Oh,
really
okay.
well.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so yeah, like Akil said, procrastination doing 5 weeks of work in 4 hours. That's in 4 hours. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it's really hard to actually succeed in doing that.
Well, it depends. What kind of work is it?
I just feel like the quality of work that you are going to achieve in 4 hours for 5 weeks of worth of work is just not going to be good.
Mhm.
Like
I
a
do like what I do like what Takahashi said. Nothing like procrastinating a lot, getting really scared because you think you won't get your work done, and then not only getting that work done, but becoming really productive. That is a tremendous use of fear right there. It can give you the energy to be tremendously productive.
mm-hmm.
Absolutely can.
That's why I do it.
That's why you procrastinate.
Oh yeah, gotta
So
be
I can be
productive.
really productive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sorry I interrupted you, Joe.
No,
Please
that's
continue.
we're fine. I'm probably gonna pass it back here because my eyeball is like crying. I'm just so sad, guys. You don't understand. Oh my
I'm so
goodness.
sad. I'm so sad. We're gonna end doing these at 7 and we're gonna start doing them at 6.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
that's
so
it.
sad.
You want to talk about something I'm afraid of? I'm deathly afraid that next Monday, like Joe, well, not just next Monday, but also Tuesday and Thursday, Friday, but not Wednesday for some
Not
reason.
Wednesday. Wednesday, we're gonna be fine.
Yep, Joe's gonna be doing the show alone because I will be asleep.
I won't be alone. I'm gonna draw a stick figure of you. I'm gonna put that in your window. And I'll be like, "What do you think, Joe?" And then I'll be like, be like, "I
Wow,
didn't quite understand that. What did you say?"
that sounds a lot like me. So I think that's a good call. In fact, I don't even think you need me here, Joe.
You're like, why do I keep doing this?
Uh, like Joe's got me down to T.
I,
Like that's
I,
I
you know what? Honestly, I would give you the wisest things that I can come up with.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I would
Wow,
be
even
like I'd
better.
be like
I actually would be far better on this show if Joe were just let me go, Joe. Make a
Actually,
good
I think I
run.
have another webcam. Maybe I can get 2 webcams and then I could like, you know,
Two
have it
angles.
another angle. Like I could have a little guy on a stick, like I'll take a paper plate, draw a face on there and put it on a popsicle stick or something, and then just be like, nah, nah, nah.
Wilson. Volleyball. All right.
Right.
All right.
It will not be nearly as cool. Like seriously, like you gotta be here, man. So I can't do this show myself.
That's fair. But speaking of doing the show yourself, I'm just gonna pass it back here. Now seems like a good time.
All right. Um, yeah. Takahashi says that's how I trick myself into doing work all the time by, procrastinating. Or at least you don't have to procrastinate in order to give yourself that, you know, you can look at a situation and no matter how you frame it, you can get yourself to feel that adrenaline rush, that fear or that excitement, however you want to define it. You can totally uh you can kind of play with your own mind a little bit and get yourself to do things. They always talk about one of the things that's helpful if you're trying to motivate yourself to do something is to have some kind of a vision board or a vision. Like I have it on my computer now. I just have a whole bunch of pictures of things that I would like to accomplish, things that represent things that I would like to accomplish. It doesn't have to be the exact thing, but just a representation of a lifestyle that I want to have. Like I have a picture of a guy skiing because I love skiing, but I never have the time to go skiing. And I would like to have the time to go skiing, but my inspections business keeps me from going skiing because I'm always working in the winter time. The days are shorter, so I have to work more to make use of the daylight, and I just really never get a chance to do that. Or like I have a picture of a house that I really like, and I'll be like, oh, I'd like to have a house that's like that someday. I think that'd be really cool. Or I have pictures of my kids and my wife, and different things. Um, but, those are things that are important to me that motivate me to do the things I need to do, right? Now, you can also do this with fear. You can look at a situation and be fearful of it. Like my bank account doesn't take long. I look at it and I go, "Oh my gosh."
Oh,
I better
Joe.
go do something. What's that?
Oh, Joe.
Joe's like, that shouldn't be a fearful thing. That should be an exciting thing. You're right. It should.
You're right. It should. Oof.
But at any rate, you know, we all have what we have to do. But it's such an amazing thing. But thing I really wanted to drive home that fear is just an emotional response, right? It's an emotional response based on an instinct to protect us. However, most of the things that we experience fear about are not going to harm us. Some of them are. So and there are some real fears here. So but most things it's not a dangerous situation. So the thing to do is to remember, wait a second. This is just me preparing to do something great. When I feel this fear, I really like the way Takahashi said it because it's like, you know, I'm afraid I might not get this in on time, so I better just hammer it, and go crazy. And boom, and what happens is you become more productive, right? It's an amazing driver. And I think that's the main point in the whole what's the use topic. The use of fear can be to drive you. You know, it can be to protect you, But that's why doing the analysis that we talked about on Monday is important. Like when you feel fear about something, analyze what's dangerous. Is there something dangerous? Could I, be harmed in this situation? And then think, yes, no, maybe a little. Like a lot of times when I'm afraid to do something, there's more danger to me if I don't do it because that means I won't move forward. And when I've spent enough time, it's amazing because you spend enough time in the status quo, at least for me, if I spend too much time in the status quo, standing still, then I start to get, like, man, I'm not moving forward. I got to move forward. We got to figure out how to do something. And so then I start getting the frustrated feeling and I'm like, "Ugh," and that's dangerous because then I'm just all crabby, dangerous for everybody around me, you know? Joe's like, maybe I don't want to meet you in person. I don't know. Like,
You're bigger than me. I don't know.
but at any rate, that's yeah. I just encourage you guys when you feel afraid, understand it's not necessarily something to make you run or hide from what it is you need to do or what you're afraid of. A lot of times, for me especially, it's pointing me to the exact thing that I need to do next. Like when I have a choice of options in front of me of what I can do, right? I look at all of them and whichever one makes me feel the most fear, I recognize it now. That's the one I need to do next because that's the one that's going to make the most impact. Usually that's the case because I feel the most, heightened awareness when I'm looking at the one that's like, that's going to be the most impactful one. That's going to be the one that moves me forward the most. So that's the one I need to do next. And there's a great book called Eat That Frog. I forget who it's by, maybe Ken Blanchard. But book is called Eat That Frog. And he talks about, when you have a bunch of tasks, right? And there's stuff you don't want to do. What you do is you treat them all like they're frogs. And you take the ugliest, biggest, most freaky looking one and you eat that one first. And then that makes everything else easy, right? You do the hardest, most difficult, most fearful task. You do that one first, and then everything else is easier as a result. It's just like you just skate right through it. Oh, Vince Paceni. Oh, it's not Vince Paceni. Vince Paceni did The Ant and the Elephant. Jeff. I think. I could be wrong on that one too. But anyway, that's that. Joe, back to you.
I'm not eating any frogs, Joe.
Not even their legs?
No, no part of the frogs.
Have you ever tried frog legs?
No, I don't plan to. Okay.
I tried them once. They're not all that great.
Yeah, exactly. There's some good grass here. Asparagus.
Asparagus.
That might be mispronouncing that word.
Asparagus. Yeah, you might.
So yeah, there's lots of this topic has been very fun. Uh, Joe and Jeff, I swear they have one book list. They share it. They read everything on that list in order, and that's how they do this. And they memorize the authors. I can honestly say I don't remember 50% of the authors of the books I've read.
I didn't remember that one. Jeff did. Jeff has Google at his fingertips too. It's actually so do I. I could Google it.
That's true.
It's called resourcefulness, Joe.
I get you. I'm not very resourceful, guys. So that's what I've determined from this conversation. Um, but this has been a really fun topic. I highly encourage you to look at fear as something that you can use. It's not something that is inherently good. It's not something that's inherently bad. It's just a part of who we are. And in in learning about yourself is always a great thing because that's how you're going to decide where you're going to go in the future. It's how you're going to make great choices for you and the people around you. So figure out, what are you afraid of? How are you going to use that to better yourself? That's all we got. Tomorrow is Friday, I think, if my calendar works properly.
Yeah, your calendar is working properly.
Perfect. Perfect. So tomorrow we're talking about I think it's light, right? Something about light.
Let's take a look. We'll
Um,
take a look.
you can
Those
tell
of
that
you,
I've studied properly for this topic we're about to have.
you did good. You did good. You guys can all search with us here. It's right here. Go to this page right there. No, we're not doing the science of light. We are doing
Mental Health, a Process by
men-
Josephitz.
yes, mental health. A process.
So yeah, sorry, that was the one you just added. I saw when I like, my bad. So anyway, you guys should go in there, drop a topic, drop it like it's hot, right in the topics. Um, the topics that we have are fantastic. Tef has a really good one. He also has a really good profile picture, so that's kind of nice. Um, so yeah, I highly recommend that you go ahead and let us know. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know uh, what you want to hear. I don't know. Whatever you guys are thinking um, for topics, whatever's going through your head,
Hmm?
um, just go ahead and drop it into the free for all Friday topics because we don't have limits.
Not
Limit
yet.
does not exist.
Not yet. You can see, if you want, you can try and push us to that limit. Be like, okay, yep, that's a topic we're not going to cover. Now, we do ask that we keep it, fairly friendly, fairly family friendly, so we don't have to, get on here and talk about all kinds of weird, immoral stuff. We can help it. But you guys are all good people anyway, so like I don't think we'd have to worry about that too much. You guys are amazing.
Yeah,
Right, right, Joe?
sorry, I didn't
Can
tell
I
you.
can I get an amen? Amen.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you got me. I don't know. I don't know
I'll
what you
give
want
my
from me. I'm very confused and afraid right now, so I'm gonna keep going. I wasn't sure where you're going with that. I'm still not sure, so we're gonna go somewhere else with it. Yay! Um, so yeah,
Did you just freeze?
no,
Or
no,
are you
no.
just sitting there?
A good
You're like,
shot
I
though. I had
I did
to.
on purpose.
Awkward. Yep. Just find the most awkward pose. You thought you screen capped that, but that's actually a GIF. Hold on, give you that cursed word. So
you didn't know I could be like Southern preacher guy.
no, I didn't. I was
Nah.
very impressed, very also confused. But that's okay. That's the nice thing is your objective is to confuse the heck out of us with Free for All Friday. Get us stumped.
Mhm.
Um,
Stump Ed.
stumped. Mm. So yeah, go ahead and do it there. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified. The subscribe button and the bell, so you can be notified when we come back tomorrow. Because the time's going to change a little bit. We're going to go a little bit earlier.
Mhm.
Also, so that you can come back for our Don't Worry Wednesday streams that happen on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday
Mm.
uh, for a completely different show. And I would say starring completely different people, but It's not. Half of the people are the same.
Yeah, half the people.
So come back. You can see more of that Joe, and occasionally this Joe.
Hmm. Yep, you've been there. We had a good time. It was interesting because you were like not just woken up, you had some hours under your belt for the day. So it's like
It turns out when I'm not just out of bed, I actually have more energy. It's crazy. Crazy. We just went for a
Yep.
walk. It was great. It was super fun. I highly, highly recommend that you go show up, be a part of that. And you can have any kind of questions you have
Mhm.
answered. I highly recommend that, if you're going through something, which let's be honest, you are.
Mhm.
I know that because I am. And I know that Joe is, and I know that it, life happens. And guess what happens when life happens? Problems happen, and
Mhm.
that's okay. It's okay to ask people for help on those. It's okay to reach out for advice. Those are good things to do. So
Mhm.
feel free to hop on that show and find some. It's not necessarily professional, but it is good people telling you good things. So
Yes, and to tap into Ryan's brain is an absolute privilege. Every time I ask him questions, he is such a wise man. Like, I mean, and you'll see if you got the book from the Kickstarter campaign, or if you end up getting it later on, you will be able to read the thought process he had behind all of those songs, and you'll see like it's incredible, like how much wisdom he has in his young years. Because I'm only 19 and he's younger than me, so
must be like 12.
something I don't know.
I
Like,
everyone seems to be getting younger on the
I
staff.
know. Yeah, you're old, Joe.
I'm
You're
so
you're
old
the
at
ripe old
26.
26 old guy.
by far the oldest on staff.
Yep.
Oh my
So we
goodness.
all keep getting younger. You keep getting older. We'll keep getting younger.
Sounds
Just,
good.
just for you.
Status
Just
12.
he kind of looks like it when he shaves and puts his hair back.
Oof. All of the oof.
That's what he said. Those are words from his mouth.
Fair enough.
So I'm not ridiculing.
Egg, welcome to the end of the stream.
Ba, 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 ba.
So this is the end of the stream. We don't have more to say today.
Yeah. What are we talking about next week, Joe?
That's a great question. If you have any kind, we say free for all Friday. If there's ever a topic you want us to discuss, you think would be a great follow up to what we're talking about, feel free to also drop that in the chat. We love having topics that we can really go through, really take the time to develop, um, really work through. So I think maybe next week we go through with self esteem or self confidence,
Hmm.
particularly because we just got through with fear, and I think fear lends itself to feeling a little bit worse about yourself, as though fear makes you lesser, which we know is not true. Hopefully, you've been listening this week and discovered that that is not what we think at all. If you are afraid of something, that doesn't mean you're lesser. In fact, I was just watching yesterday a YouTube video on it was an Estonian watching the Marine Corps video,
Hmm.
and there's this guy who's afraid of heights, and they have like a 48-foot rappelling wall that he's going down, and he's like, "Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it." Just freezes on the top of this wall,
Hmm.
and then he goes down, and he's like, you might mock that guy for like just standing there, but that guy did the most scary thing he's ever going to do in his life.
Hmm.
And there's something to be proud of in that. So I don't
Yep.
think any less of you from right.
Right. And that reminds me, that's why it's so important to use that fear as a motivator, because the only way past fear is action. To do the thing you fear is to cause the death of fear. When you do it, you are not afraid of it anymore. And you realize you're like, well, that wasn't even that big a deal. Huh, I'll go do it again. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, I
Maybe once
know.
was enough.
Joe says this. And I cleaned out my gutters last week, and I'm still afraid of heights. So it's a process.
Yeah. And Joe's got a 5-story house. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah, we're way up there. Like,
at least it felt like it.
yeah,
Five-story house on a hill.
yeah. It's definitely not like maybe one max. It's there's the roof that is like 10 feet high, and then I'm on a ladder that's not that high because I have a porch that I can. But man, my knees are shaking. Like if you've ever been truly afraid, it is an experience to do anything. Like if you're doing something you're afraid of, like everything becomes hard for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can
Does.
barely walk, and this like walking is something I'm pretty good at in a general rule, and I can't do that right now. Because each brick is a story. Oh,
Yeah. Detective says, Egg says, as someone with a fear of death, I don't think that advice is very good. That's true. Yeah, that's not the way to get over your fear of death. However,
yeah.
I would just listen to the words of Gandalf the White. Yes.
You're not gonna tell us the words. You're just gonna. All right. Well, if you guys want to go read the Lord of the Rings, we can find those words somewhere in there.
He says,
Look,
death is just another journey, one we all must take. And he goes through all this, stuff about it.
gotcha.
Go jump in a giant death pit to fight a fire dragon.
Good luck.
Get revived as Egg the White.
Peg weight. Perfect. Oh my
Beautiful.
goodness.
Oh, what a
Well,
fun show. Thanks, guys, for being here.
yeah.
This has been great.
Thank you. A
Ah,
happy Thursday. Enjoy it. Make sure you have joy in the rest of your Thursday, and we will catch you back here
yes.
tomorrow, still at 7 o'clock for tomorrow only,
Mm.
and we will talk about our Free for All Friday topic. Until then, have a great day. We'll see you guys soon.
See you guys later. Love you a lot.